Hey guys, welcome back to some Gilded Guardians. Today's video, we're going to be looking at the event that is going on. I wanted to wait to go ahead and do this. Now, the reason being, when you start looking at Glacial Guardians, figuring out what teams are working the best, where players are ranking. Now, you also notice in the top right that we do have 15 tickets. You can buy another additional 5 tickets. So you can have in total right here, 20 tickets to run Glacial Guardians, meaning that you're going to run this 20 times. So going in here, looking at the boss that we're fighting, this boss is very particular to the ability to freeze him. When you freeze him, the damage amplification with him goes through the roof. So it is imperative the builds that you see in here. So looking at a few just of our top rankings, looking at, right here, you can see we have our 2 brand new heroes that are in here, making a really big difference with both these heroes. The ability not only to crowd control on one side, but also having ads that can take damage. And then of course the ability to freeze on the other side. Now you'll notice they're running JD in here. JD is really the big healer that you can get for free. Now there are a few players that are running Tarvos in here, and Tarvos of course brings some buffs that JD does not, including the buffs of the attack speed. So it does work out pretty well with Tarvos. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna try Tarvos first and see what we can get and see how we can do this. Now, looking at the start here, most of the players are using, like I said, right here, you can use 3 of your legendary guardians. Third one most players are running is JD. If you have access to Tarvos, I am actually gonna run Tarvos in here versus running JD. Might not be the best option, but you know what? I am gonna go ahead and run with it. Now, some of the other heroes that we're seeing a lot of utility is right here. So this hero specifically, looking at Morana, they have the ability to freeze heroes. That is the big part. When it comes to the boss, you have to have the ability to freeze the heroes, which is the reason why we're popping this hero in here. And then of course, when it comes to support, you wanna make sure that you do have some heroes. Now, a lot of players are also running this hero as well. So Lixus is the other hero, which of course, this is an agility ranger. Big thing with this is the third ability. Basic attacks apply a stacking debuff that reduces defense by 6 per stack, up to a maximum of 6 stacks. So you can have a major defense reduction buff with this hero. In addition to that is running it during the boss mode. When you start getting more levels on this hero, it actually goes to a 10% defense reduction, meaning if you're at the max level, you're getting a 60% defense reduction, which makes a big difference considering the main hero or the main one on here is a tank. So you got to get the defense down. This is a way to do it. Now, a lot of players are also running grind in here. We're seeing a lot of other combinations of a few different heroes, especially looking at, and again, kind of thinking of the way that players are running this, just looking at building almost essentially 2 teams. So again, that's what we're seeing even right here, looking at heroes like Aquarius that have the ability to raise the defense, but also provide an immunity, can make a big difference in a lot of different formations. And again, another reason why players are running that. And there's one other hero, which is Doro, which is right here. A lot of players are running Dorvo as well for the crowd control aspect. So you can see right there, there's a stun that is built in there. There's a dizzy that is built in here. And then of course, crit percent by 10%. Each crit hit increase attack by 5% for 10 seconds. And it is stackable, meaning with the abilities in here, again, when you start scaling these higher and higher, this can make a big difference. So being able to crowd control the heroes that we have in here. Now, also remember some of the changes that we've seen from the first events is within this event, when you're starting to make more progression, of course, you're going to unlock skills, but your subgroup. So when you're in here and you're running 5 specific heroes, when you look at the subgroup of the heroes that you're running within these formations, they will gain levels. That is something that changed from the original time we did this, is going in here. Now, going in here specifically, there is a very kind of unique way that you want to run this. So of course, restoring all the Guardians energy is good to a point. Right now, we are looking for dungeon coins. Dungeon coins are going to turn into gear, which is the reason why we want to run and why we want to pick up the dungeon coins in here, because that is going to turn into our gear. Now, looking at our formation, I'm going to show you kind of the heroes that we're running in here. We're going to drop a few of these out, and I just kind of want to build it. So primary, of course, right here is going to be your tank. You want your tank front and center. This is going to be the one that is going to take all of the damage. And then of course, these 3 heroes specifically are going to be the core. When it comes to building these out, these legendary heroes are going to be the absolute core that we have. And then of course, right here, we're running this hero right in here again that we kind of talked about earlier. And I believe we can, it might not let us do informations, but to go ahead and choose it out. And then looking at the final one, again, most players are running Kyrix, I believe it was, in here. So this is the formation that we're seeing. We could even run our Legendary Guardian up front. And of course, we have agility rate here. We do have multiple forms of crowd control. And then as we get our primary hero up a little bit higher, it will make a big difference. Like I said right here, Morana, and then Lixus is another one that we're building. Now, these are the three looking at different formations, looking at different places. These are the 5 heroes that a lot of players are running. Now, the variance of this is if you're running, of course, Dolvir and here with Liska, they are the primary 2 that are run in all of the formations. Every comp that I looked at, we're running these 2 formations. Then running Tarvos in here, you could also run JD. Now, the big thing here, right, is this one. The attack speed for this one can make a really big difference. But then we have crowd control with Morana, and then we have the damage amplification rate here, which makes a big difference. Now, you also want a couple different heroes. If you're running one specific class of hero, all of the gear that falls for that hero or that class is going to be utilized essentially within there. So we have, 2 casters in here, 2 agility users, 1 strength user, and then of course within the formations, we do have additional strength users. So the gear that we're getting out of here is going to just kind of roll downhill, which I'll show you kind of what I mean when we get to the point. Now, when you get to the early gear, when you get the gray gear, when you get the green gear, we are not going to use any of our tokens. We are waiting, and you want to wait exclusively for blue gear, where you start getting that rare gear. That is the point where if you want to use some tokens, you can. And of course, Torvir and a couple other heroes is when we start getting them built out. Now, remember, legendary heroes, they are very, very dependent on levels. Levels equate to skills. There's going to be a point, and again, running this thing 20 times, if you're using all of your tickets, if you're using all of your tokens, going to make a really big difference. Running it in 20 times, you can see the traps right there. Boom. As the damage amplifies with these heroes, it is going to make a big difference, unlocking everything we need to get this going. And once we do start getting levels, and here is our arsenal, but once we start getting levels, it's going to make a big difference. Now, thinking of where we are right now, gray gear, that is going to be, of course, not the priority. We are going to prioritize right here with the old helmet, and make sure you equip it. A lot of players do not realize that you have to equip it. That was a question that I got before, but yes, before you go into the next battle, and we know, again, Tolvir is going to be one that is going to be wearing all of our gear. Make sure you equip the gear. That's going to make a big difference in the defense rating that he has right now. And then, of course, because he is the primary tank, want to get him to the point where we have additional his little, and I believe they're land sharks or frost sharks or something like that. I believe he has 2 little sharks that he will summon later on as we're going through here. Now, also remember, going through here and gaining levels, there we go, there's some boots, is going to make a big difference for a lot of these heroes. But as you're making progression, there is going to be a point where you can't make any progression. In some of the big important things in here is one, you can't really neglect any of the defensive piece. When it comes to tanks, they are very important, because if the tank cannot take a hit from the boss, of course, it's going to fold very fast if they're not having, or if they don't have the ability to really take a hit and still stay alive. It's going to make a big difference when it comes to these heroes. And then in addition to that, the pause button. We cannot stress this enough. And I know it's right down here, I believe on the left, right behind my camera, the pause button, keeping your finger on the pause button. It is the absolute game changer, because we know when it comes to RNG in this game, RNG is exactly what we're talking about. It is very random. And you can have the ability or actually die when you're fighting a boss just because of RNG. You can try it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. You could get to a point where you can get through it, but it does make a big difference with the RNG. Now, right here, Broken Chainmail, as much as I would like this one, now remember, Tarvos specifically is attack. That is something to remember, is when you know your Guardians, Tarvos, all of his skills are based on attack, so building his attack up higher, gonna make a big difference. Now, looking at a hero like Flix is based on HP, so the higher you build up the hit points for Flix, gonna make a difference. Right now, I want the Broken Chainmail, and the reason is we have our agility hero up front and tanking. We could even swap Liska to the back and really change this up in the formation a little bit. But knowing where we are right now, level 9, we want to go ahead and drop that on there, giving some more HP. And of course, this is the boss. Now, Calyx Helix, of course, this is the one where you have to freeze the hero. You have to crowd control the hero. It's going to make a big difference. And there we go. So you can see very big swing on Liska right there. And it looks like it's hitting Dolvier. So there we go. So here comes the freeze. And you'll see as soon as the freeze happens, boom, frozen. HP goes down pretty quick here. Want to make sure that Tarvos does get that heal up. Come on, Tarvos, where's the heal? Can't have the heroes die. If the heroes start dying, we are going to have to restart this. And I don't think Tarvos has the heal. Wait, just thinking about that, the heal isn't unlocked. That's going to make a big, big difference early. I was literally just thinking about that. I was like, where's the heal? And I was like, wait a minute, the heal isn't unlocked. I don't want the Guardian Energy. Let's go for the dungeon coins in here. Ooh, this might make a difficult one because, again, I was just thinking that we don't have... Oh, no, they're all full. There we go. So we got through that one. I'm hoping Tarvos is going to have the heal. I forget if it's his second... No, there's the heal. He does have the heal. I know, I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. Is there not a heal in here? Tarvos does have a heal, which is good, which he might have just hit level 10. If I'm remembering, let me look at him. So right there, yes, level 10. So he was a 9 for the battle. So he did not have the heal. That is correct. So this one, this is also a question when you start looking in here on what you should get. Now, when it comes to the Order of the Cinder, I do like this one. However, within this game mode, you can just essentially build it the way that you want to and the effectiveness. So I can go into a battle knowing that the boss is going to be on the next battle. Don't use any of the ultimate abilities. That is going to allow me to stack all of my energy to 100%, meaning Order of Cinder is not going to make a difference because all of my Guardians already have 100%. And I could go from the Order of Solas, or I could go from Umbrus in here, depending on exactly what we need. That is a very, very good way to do it. Because again, gaining levels and really building everything up in here. And there's our little sharks, which I love because the sharks take damage. That is another big thing in here is when we get multiple targets, those sharks you will see in a couple different places that they do take a lot of damage. Now coming in here, like I said earlier, we want to make sure that we're getting what we need within formations, because even here, like he already has his set of boots. We don't want the old greaves. I'm going to select the hat right here because of course, because it's not blue gear at this point, we're going to go ahead and skip it. Now you'll also notice in the bottom, you can reset this for rubies. Guys, it can get insanely expensive if you're resetting this for rubies, just for the simple fact that there is a lot that you can get out of here. There's our hero from Tarvos. And I should have equipped the hat. I literally just thought about it right now. But also, there we go. We got multiple forms of crowd control. I like the build. I like Tarvos just for the simple fact that we have the ability to buff up the attack speed. Attack speed in this game, very, very big. We get a treasure. Let's go ahead and equip this one. And there is a dagger. Now out of here, Liska is the one that we're going to use the dagger. And I'm getting used to their new name, the new names or the new heroes within here. Let's go ahead and ramp up the damage that this hero is doing. Boom, that is 284 attack in there. I'm gonna go throw the hat on Tarvos. I know it is just some defense and evade. That's okay, we wanna keep him alive. Gotta get him building up and really amplified with some more damage in here. But also paying attention to where we are. And of course, we got some roots back there. We got a couple different things. But paying attention to what room you're in also makes a big difference. Because if you know the boss fight is coming up, and even here we're in room 18, is we can turn off the ultimate ability, or I can just use it myself versus going in here and burning through everything else. And even looking at the damage we're taking right here, most of it is from our little sharks. So not really too worried about the damage in there because the sharks were taking the damage, which of course, when it comes to the boss, if the boss is attacking the sharks versus the heroes, makes a big difference. So Arsenal here, see green, 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 or excuse me, gray, gray, gray. I would not do anything with this. We could spend 50 diamonds if we wanted to, trying to get possibly a green. Boom, there we go. We got attack and attack. That is going to be a really good one in here. And of course, thinking of Tarvos using attack, we could get a little bit more damage out of here, but this is orange versus purple. But look at that. That's 3 stars versus 1. I'm going to go in here. We're going to get this pair of boots. Again, because they're green, we are going to skip those. I don't want to put them in there. We're saving all of our guild coins. for the green gear. The blue gear. We want to get at least the blue gear. There we go. So this again is going to bring up a lot more attack for the hero. And because we already do have all of our ultimate abilities ready, we could go ahead and even burn through this, giving him a little bit more damage. We could go in here again. Energy, I don't really recommend because you have the ability to get that built out. We could also do the Order of Solace just because of the fatal damage. Let's go with some damage in here. And I want to say we could also save it. We could have also saved this one to see kind of what it looks like. So we're going to get a lot of ultimate abilities right off the bat, which again, don't really recommend because even if you look back there, you can see that there was a trap. There was a couple things. He walked out of the trap very early, which you can see the sharks are taking the damage in this one so far. So it's been all of sharks. I got my finger right on our pause button, waiting to see, because if we can crowd control them a little bit more, there we go. Gives us a little bit of time to get some more healing up. And I'm wondering, because if we take damage, we don't want, boom, people died. I'm going to save my ultimate abilities. I want to save them. Now, between both of these heroes, you can space out the ultimate abilities. We don't want them going off at the same time. So if we can freeze right here, there we go, frozen. Now he's up. We can even go ahead and freeze one more time. That is going to be a big defense reduction. Liska, we can get the traps up on there. There we go. We got some healing from Tarvos. Now we just have to kind of recycle the healing, or excuse me, the freezing. There we go. There's another freeze. There we go. Got a little bit more healing in here. Should be able to take out that last 20%. Got the trap up again. The Endovier went down. This is where, again, it's going to take some time, especially with the new bosses, figuring out exactly kind of the methodology behind how he works. Even there, if we can freeze a little bit earlier in here. And I'm almost wondering, doing everyone else's abilities, like when the hero is frozen. Because I'm thinking a lot of the damage. Remember, damage amplification for this enemy goes way up when he is frozen. There we go. There's the freeze. Got a lot more heal in there. And of course, Marana is coming up with another heal. Or excuse me, another freeze in there. Yeah, I'm thinking this one, if Liska can freeze, I think we're going to get through here. Frozen. Where's our heal? There we go. Got it down. Now that's what we wanted, because of course, next battle, we know all of our HP is going to be gone. So we might be able to get through 30 floors in this without having to really worry about anything, because we don't want the inspiration. We are going to get these dungeon coins trying to get to the blue gear within here. It's a really cool game mode. I really do enjoy this. These little mini kind of game modes. It's pretty interesting how the dynamic works. And I know a lot of players are not a huge fan because it does take a lot of time. Just like you've seen right there, it took 2 or 3 times to actually get through the game mode. But we are almost to level 20. 20, of course, is going to unlock that next ability for the legendary heroes, which again makes a really big difference because right now they are missing a lot of their abilities because they're not a high enough level. Same with the epic heroes, same thing, but we have to get there with these. Getting them to level 20 makes a big difference. And here's our arsenal. Are we finally going to see blue gear? It is blue. Look at that purple. Oh my goodness. So there is purple. Go ahead and pick that up. We have agility boots, which again, we could put in here. I want to get the weapon. That's, yeah, crit resistance, crit rating, and attack. Go ahead and pick that one up. And that's the reason why we did save for this. That is a really, really big game changer right there. Now, of course, like I said earlier, going through here and rolling all of our gear downhill, when you sacrifice the gear, it doesn't really make a difference at all. You only get like 2 or 3 coins. So being able to go through here and just roll that downhill to where if I do have a hero that dies, I have the ability to pop another hero in the formation for the one that did die. And it does make a big, big difference. There was a kickback. Yeah, and you can see we're getting a lot of new abilities in here because these heroes are now past that level 20 mark. starting to get a lot more of the utility with these heroes. Treasure, hopefully it's something good. There we go. Tier 1 chest, I will take it. Gear in this game mode, just like levels, makes a really big difference. So go ahead, we'll throw some of the utility in here. That, of course, is going to take off, or no, we didn't even have one. That's 11,000 hit points on there, guys. Yeah, that's going to make a big difference. You can see we're getting through a lot of this relatively easy. And both Liska and Dovir, they're both pretty solid heroes. A lot of players were kind of questioning Liska and how effective. So right here, again, we want to save, and we're going to use all of our, or save our ultimate abilities in here, because we know exactly what is coming up next. Next is going to be the Arsenal. We're on level 23. I think that was level 23 right there. But this is one of 20 runs, guys. This is one of 20 different times. Look at the armor in here. Defense, evade, crit, magical penetration. This, again, I'm going to pick up both of these. This is the reason why we saved what we had in here. There we go. Another 13,000 over there. Here we go. We'll keep Tarvos a little bit alive. And, of course, just, again, rolling downhill with the gear. We'll throw some gear on Dorvo or Doro. There we go. Now it's back to the boss fight. Let's finish up this boss, guys, and that will do it for today's video. Let's see if we can get this one done. 80%, so not going to have the ability there. But we know Liska right off the bat. We're going to have the freeze. Boom. Now we just got to wait for Morana. And it looks like this might be a tough one, guys. Yeah, this one, it might be a little bit tougher to get through if we can get through this one. Because, again, we need the freeze of Liska. Yeah, that's a pretty big hit. Even there, I mean, there we go. We got some more crowd control. The freeze is up again. Yeah, this one we might not be able to get through. There's no way at this point. So, of course, that is going to cost us 1 ticket, but we got 30 floors in. And, of course, we have the B team in here. You can see we're at 23 and 17. So we could go in here and drop these in here. And I always do just to see, because there are times where when we drop our heroes in here, we do make it through here. And you can see the boss is already damaged at this point, but this is going to be a reset. It is going to set us back 10 floors. With the 10 floor reset, we know that it's going to make a big difference, because that is going to start us at 10. Then we can level up all the way going back to the 30, making a big deal with the with what we're getting out of there. Now, also, you can see we're getting souls. This is all souls in here, a crazy amount of souls to build up those heroes, but we have 3 more days. We have 19 more tickets in here to take care of. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.